Now, I posted a video about my experience at NAMM. You can see it right here. I posted that experience, and something in the video just started getting a lot of comments. Hey, what is this thing? What is this thing? Tell me about this thing. And then I started getting random comments on things like, hey, this is great and all what you're talking about, but can you talk more about that thing that was here? So I am going to actually show you what was experienced right now. Let's take a look.
How's it going, guys?
It's good, man.
PROX.
Steve and Terry, nice to meet you, man.
This is our Z cable or Z case for this.
Just roll that bad boy right down.
Yeah, if it pulls down, we'll just give you a demo real quick right now.
Okay.
Is this top part customizable?
The top part as right now, no. We're working on a design for the denim.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's 5000. We already got asked about the RANT 12s. You know, it all depends on. You know,
So you're custom making?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
what about this plate here?
That plate, the original one won't have that.
Bring down below the sign.
This is some serious stuff right here.
That's what's up.
And there's a top that goes on this too?
Yeah, top over there.
Wow. Now, I got a question for you though. Does it seem like it took two people to do it? Is this a one-man operation?
One person can do this.
Okay.
We just did two to make it go faster.
Gotcha. Yes, it is. What's the weight of the case but like this?
What's the weight? You know? I don't have the weight. It's just brand new. We just made this.
Can I do a lift? It's not light.
And then the other thing about this, about the casters, let's say,
Lockable caster.
you know, sometimes when you're rolling around, you gotta kind of fold it. You gotta fold, you know, try to find that this one. Self-centered.
You're building one.
It's in the process, and we are doing one for the denim system.
Now, what about cable management out of the back? Oh, there's a hole. Okay, because it is a feed through somewhere. Okay. Now this is the first of its kind. And is it a cool product? Yes, it's a really, really cool product. It is a heavy product. Now, if you are operating in a production environment you're dealing with massive trucks and it's just one piece of equipment in 40 pieces of equipment, then yes, that case would do you well. It's basically an instant DJ setup with the front boards and everything. It's got a nice solid back. It's got a nice design to it. It's clean looking. It's very modern looking. And it's a really, really cool piece of equipment. I personally cannot use that on a weekly basis unless I had multiple roadies willing to load and unload that thing because it is heavy. I mean, if you've ever dealt with any type of like the flat screen TV cases, the ones that are on the wheels, like the Odyssey one, it feels similar to that. There is some weight to it. So it's not something that a one-man operation could do unless, they had a ramp on their van or on their truck. Yeah, then you could do it yourself, but that's a lot of weight to be responsible for on your own. And it's not something you can just quickly move around. That's something that's gonna require more forethought. And also you have to be comfortable with the fact that what you see is what the audience sees. So that's going to be on display all the time. There's no real covering for that. Yeah, you could bring it on the front board, but it kind of defeats the purpose of this particular product. It's not on the market yet. It's coming soon. There's no price for it, and they're still working on the customization. So I like where PROX Cases is going. As a matter of fact, I like PROX Cases as a company a lot. I like what they're doing. I like the products that they're releasing to the DJ community. They are honestly thinking about DJs. People have to start thinking about how equipment is loaded into vans, into trucks, and how the limited space of a truck. Look, when you are loading DJ gear into a van, a truck, a renter, the idea is to fit everything snug. The bigger the van, the more room you have. That's actually bad. You want the van to be just big enough to be able to get all your equipment in, so when you are turning and moving, the equipment's not falling over. If you get into a situation where you're in a bigger truck, well, the size matters, and being able to get everything in your truck without a lot of movement is very, very important. So when I see things like slim profile, 65-inch to 70 flat screen TV cases, or they're able to hold one versus having to get the large Odyssey, which we own, by the way, but it fits 2 screens and it's built like a tank. But there's been a couple times where I've said, God, it would be really nice if there was just the same case, but a little smaller and able to hold one TV. We did one for DJ City. They're like, I just need one TV for display and that's it. And we don't have a one TV, one rack TV case. So we still have to bring the humongous case with us everywhere we go. And I said, it would have really been nice if we had one. And then sure enough, you go to the Prox Case booth and what do they have? A 1 unit TV case. Super slim. I'm talking, it's like this wide. It is exactly the same size as the TV. So it's probably like, this big and light, low profile, small. That's thinking about your mobile DJ community. It's really, really important that people are like that. Now, having said that, is PROX Case the only company out there? No. I mean, you got plenty of companies out there. You got the Magmas, you got the Odyssey. Oh, by the way, speaking of Odyssey, so right after I left the PROX booth, I ran into this thing. Looks familiar, doesn't it? Yeah, that's because it's the same case. So, what does this mean exactly? I've spoke about this before. I spoke about the fact that a lot of these companies are buying products from overseas. And I actually got a lot of flack from a couple of different manufacturers out there that didn't like what I had to say. But I'm gonna stand firm on what I say here. A lot of the products that are coming out for us to buy, hardware, the cases, they're being manufactured in China. Now, please hear me when I say this. Do I know which company is the originator of the product and which company is the copycat? No, I do not. Do I care? Not really. I can just tell you that the hardware that's coming out and then the copies that are coming out are spec for spec the exact same product. So, does it matter that you buy a case from Odyssey or a case from PROX Cases? Because a lot of the things that they're getting, you can buy from one or the other. What is the difference? Well, some will say that, well, our specifications are stricter, a little more stringent. So we're gonna get a better quality product that's coming out of China because everything's made in China. So you can't really make the argument that everything's made in China because it is. That's not what I'm saying. They are going over and looking at the China websites, your Alibabas and all those things, and they're seeing a product that they like, and the company will say, you can have this, but you need to buy 500 of these for X amount of dollars. And then you buy them, they ship them all to you, you rebadge them, they rebadge them for you, and then you sell them. When you're out of the product, you may or may not be able to get that same product because maybe they're no longer making it, or maybe they've come out with a new model. You see, that's what I'm talking about here. Our US companies are acting like they are on the forefront of designing a lot of these products, and sometimes they're not. But that doesn't make it a bad thing. I just wish our companies would stop acting like if you don't buy it from them, you're getting shoddy product and it's gonna fall apart on you. That's not the case, because every case, you see what I did there? That's not the case because everybody out there is getting their stuff from the same companies. We bought sparklers. We bought 6 new sparklers from China, okay? And the US version of those sparklers, if you put them side by side, the ones we bought versus the ones you can buy in US that are under the strict demands and they have all these things and all this stuff, and you put them together, guess what? They are the exact same ones. So who is telling the truth? I can make a demand and say, make sure it doesn't burn down the place. Make sure that it has this and it has this and it has this and it has this. And the company will say, it does. That doesn't mean that I have done anything to make sure that that product is actually operating on the level that I know to be the right way. They're making the product to sell. They're making the product to sell to the United States. So these companies know what is required. So it's just frustrating to me when I hear companies tell me that you don't understand. We get them made in China, but they're everything that we've told them that we want them to be, and then they design them for us. Sometimes, yes. All the time, no. There are just too many similarities in certain products that you can tell me that this is actually the case. It's not the case. I don't care what they say. I don't believe that. Now, I think one company actually doesn't like me anymore. I'm pretty sure they don't like me anymore, but that's not my job. My job isn't to be liked. My job is to tell the truth. And based upon what I see, based upon what I buy, based upon what I know, that, you know, just because you buy them overseas yourself and they don't have a name on them and they're no-name brands does not mean that they are shoddy product. You ever go to the store and buy cereal and it's like, you know, Oopie cereal as opposed to like Captain Crunch, and then you buy that product and then you eat it and you're like, hey, wait, this tastes the same. And then you find out that it's because Captain Crunch or whatever, General Mills, is actually making these products for the supermarkets and then rebadging them. So they're basically double dipping. They're getting their Captain Crunch followers at this price line, and then they're getting their Oopsie cereals at this price line. That's the way it works. You ever go to Costco and you buy some alcohol and you're like, oh, this alcohol is pretty good. This vodka is good. And then you realize that's because it's made by one of the major distributors. This is what everybody does. There's nothing special about what's going on here. Just because it's not name brand does not make it inferior. And we have to just start realizing that names aren't everything, okay? Sometimes they are, but a lot of times they're not. And when you're dealing with a lot of these companies out there, you just have to realize that you know, it's not one person copying the next or one person's product being better. One person's product is just marketed better, but they're the same product. They're getting it from the same people. All right, that's enough. I'm going off on a tangent here. So anyway, so having said that, make sure you check out the PROX Cases, the online site. They do a really, really good job. And I'm really, really impressed by what I'm seeing from them. You know, they're just thinking about DJs in the right way. They're a smaller company. Sometimes smaller companies just work better than larger companies because they have more to lose. And when they buy products, they got to make sure that those products are going to sell. So I'm really, really impressed by the company. They're just stand-up guys. Take a look at PROX and just, you know, see what you think. All right, guys, that's it for me. If you found what I said here useful, hit that like button. If you found what I said here really useful, hit that subscribe button. And guys, always a pleasure. If I don't talk to you later, we'll talk soon. Peace.